Hey folks, thanks for stopping by. Hey, Zedling67, I see ya. Thanks for coming. Never spend enough time looking at the actual YouTube live stream thing because I'm looking at the OBS stuff. Apologize for this video quality.
All right.
I didn't really mean to record it.
That's pretty dark. Let's see what happens. Let me see these sort of. All right, there it is.
Hey folks, thanks for coming. 38 Linux boxes equals 1 asynchronous cellular automata. That's my clickbait title for this update, but it's true. We just saw it, and we're going to have more. We're going to have over 100 Linux boxes equals 1 cellular automata. Not exactly sure when. So I've got a bunch of stuff for today. I've got some more video about the building of the hardware layout that we just saw. That's going to go on a little bit. We'll take a look at that. And then I want to give just a quick little update on the research stuff on the software redesign for the event engine, and then try to do a live outreach demo. We'll see how it goes. So let's look at the video and then come back. And I have super going ball.
Whoa. Okay. I get it now. Let's just try to pull it out. Oh, that was easy enough. This is 8 pieces that meet with themselves. There's the sticking out. Well, let's just open it up because it's time, you guys. We're sending in, guys. These pieces go through those holes, and then they all go up. And if all goes well, without too much trouble, they snap in like that. And that's pretty damn strong for, plastic. The red and the blue. Here we are. So that goes in like that. Oh, what do you know? Actually managed to, but this one is, there it goes. So we can tell these should, the arms on it. Doing that time looks okay. The ones that are pinched in actually hold a single tile, whereas the ones that are pinched out, this is the bottom of the tile above, and this one is for the top of the tile below. To do the entire ring lotus in the classic originally visioned like flower form, it's going to take 15 rows nearly to the floor in this position. So we're going to have to raise this whole thing up and find another place for it and so on. So this is all, you know, the way this works. The whole point of the grid framework is to provide something that actually locks them all together at the tile level. We're just going to own that. But now my my focus is on, you know, okay, how can I make it easier to disassemble and reassemble? Because I see that in my future. So each lotus by itself needs 5 pinches of height. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. Okay, guys. Okay, next step is start hooking these together laterally and putting in all the feet in the overlap direction. So these things press fit laterally is what it is. But it's really, once you get all these going, strong. That one's being such a pain. Alright, so that's it. That's now, here's our feet. I'm sorry, that's our claws, I guess I'll call them. So that's a full ring lotus where I've now put a grid on top of it. Alright, so that's not really a very good way to do it. But I think what that means is that then we'll have to extend some more off this direction later here. That's going to be a tile like that. There's their little barbs and their ends. So here we go. Tile number 1. See, now here's what's happened. Here's an example of what happened when I disassembled, busted one of the claws off, and so that's another deader. The E and the F series, which are not the most recent ones. Why don't we use the most recent ones of the latest G series tiles? Possible. Okay, these are both A's. There's 2 different kinds of displays. It for our overflow. Isn't that beautiful? I mean, this project is, well, who knows where the hell it ends up? Who knows where when the clock runs out? But it's an actual thing. We actually built these things. Okay. That's it. That's the lotus. 1 surrounded by 6, surrounded by 12, 19, the mystical power. What shall we do now? I mean, we could plug this thing up and try it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It doesn't go. An extra half a gauge. In fact, we will need later anyway, way down in the corner. So, well, heck, let's hang one more strap. I'm just going to go with a regular hanger. And this is the last set of hangers in this box. I think we got one more box of hangers. Theoretically, past Dave counted all this crap out already. There we go. There we go. Get around the one. Oops, so that is the cost of doing business. Not plugging up the whole grid, but I'm going to plug up this interface with a data only connector to remind us that that is a power frontier. All right, so that strange shape, because it's part of a bigger ring destined to be constructed somewhere. Now we just need to plug up the data and power connections, the within power zone connections here, the within power zone connections here. These are some DP connectors until I find some reason not to. Okay, well this is already going to be... Did I have that wrong? Oh jeez, I had it upside down. Well, but thank you, shrouded header. No damage was done. Now, these tiles have not been tested for intertile activity at all, and history says that there may well be some intertile connectors that don't work for whatever reason. So we may be facing swapping, well, we probably will be facing swapping some tiles out in the middle of this grid. Over here. So I think I have no excuse really not to fire up 19 tiles that should be running Hugene if actually everything comes up. So I'll tuck this back and alright, so you ready for this? Here we go. Alright, now this is important actually, and I can already see an issue here. If you can see this, there's a yellow line up here, yellow line down here. That means these two tiles, this one's southwest, this one's southeast, this one's northwest, are not communicating. Now, it may just be because this connector isn't seated well, and it may be because there's a problem, and that's what we're here to look into. This is the one for pulling. Alright, so I am going to power this one off. Still yellow. Empty. If we actually had a simulation. All right, there it is. All clear. All clear. So we are pointing the fickle finger of fate at G3140.
and that's it. And so from there, I tried the Eugene that we saw at the opener. For me, the exciting part about that was that I actually powered up Lotus number two while Eugene was running on Lotus number one, and it actually survived. Now, again, that's not something that will work in the general case because the software is just too brittle. But in the special case of just having stuff come up once, it actually does work. So we have 38 tiles now tested. The ones around the edge haven't been completely tested, but they've been somewhat tested in two lotuses. I'm starting to get a little bit of a clue, actually, based on problems from before, that I think it's the southeast tends to be the one that has the trouble. So if I ran into another circumstance like that where I see a southeast northwest thing failing to communicate in the future, I think I'm going to replace the southeast one first. Why that would be, I don't know. And then we've got 60 more that have been tested individually. Those are going to go into Lotus 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. It's a long way to go. This thing is going to be pretty big. It's going to be something like 5 feet by 5 feet, which doesn't sound like that much, but when you're right there, it's significant. We got older tiles to refresh. We may be able to just plug them in and use them because the underlying image hasn't actually changed that much, but we'll see about that. And we had one board failure during the individual testing. We had one board failure during the assembly of Lotus 1. The next steps on this, I mean, the science fiction paperback bookshelf wall that I'm building these things on now, I'm not sure it's going to do it for holding up the whole, well, I mean, just, I don't know. It remains to be seen exactly where to build this thing. For one, we're going to have the whole Lotus, and we'll have enough cooling and enough power, enough room to get away and get a good shot at it with the camera. And of course, we've got to get the camera working better, and so on. And we can't do any of this until we can get the software stuff in better shape. So that's where we were. That was the image I dropped into the middle of the thing. So we have Lotus 1 and Lotus 2 now. The one over on the far side there, we're going to have to, screw it, have to add more hangers outside the grid to make room for that, but step by step. Lotus 3, I think, is the center Lotus coming in. So on the research front, if getting my fingers all bleeding from plugging in claws and trying to pry them out again is development, well then the software redesign is research. I don't have a whole lot to say yet because I've got lots of thoughts. I've done some spikes, some little coding experiments just to try things out, but it all might just get tossed in the trash down the road. But I do have some emerging thoughts, and so the key design idea that's changing in my head is be UDP-ish, not TCP-ish. Now that's, networking jargon. TCP, the whole idea of it is that it's a reliable stream. If you say the alphabet A, B, C, D, E, X, Y, Z, the other person at the end of the thing will get A, B, C, X, Y, Z. Even if the underlying layer loses packets and has to retransmit them and do who knows what and so forth, TCP promises. Whereas UDP says, I'm going to take each little bit, A, B, C, D, E, F, I will send it. If I lose it, I'm not going to tell you. And I want to switch the event processing to UDP-ish because it's just more honest. In the peer-to-peer best effort world, you really can't do TCP. You really can't guarantee it. The problems just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger until a guarantee that TCP offers breaks. Whereas UDP says, in fact, when you use UDP in the actual internet and so forth, best effort delivery is what UDP does, and most of the packets, the vast majority of the packets get through unless the network is really stressed, and that's what we want for event processing step by step. Best effort cache updates. And the exciting thing for me is, and I'll talk about this next time, but the idea of the ring oscillator. I've now got a spike where if you've got three tiles that are connected, 1, 2, 3, in a little triangle, they are doing a ring oscillator around the corner, around three tiles. They're passing a shared clock around them, so that rather than having the whole racing to see who can have an event, what they're doing is saying, well, it's your turn if you want it. You've got it for this long, and then pass it on. Then it goes on to the next guy and the next guy, with a little bit of randomization to skip turns so that it doesn't get too much patterns. And I've got a spike where that's actually working, and I think it may help. We'll see. But we'll talk about that in the future. So for now, let's go on to outreach. So, I've been working on the science fiction stuff since 2019, I think. First a novel, then a novel again, and then turn chapter 2 of the novel into a short story. The short story has been done for a while. Done. Search Quiet Wake. Vaughn Joy Mannon is the author, the pseudonym I'm using for it. And so I've been sending out to select friends and victims who have read it, and they provided great input. And the story has gotten a lot better, but I could diddle with it forever. So the idea is, need a deadline, and I'm gonna send it off to Asimov's science fiction magazine. Not the biggest science fiction magazine, apparently, but it's the one that's sort of closest, nearest, dearest to my heart. I mean, I've got my probably biggest, celebrity encounter story was that actually, I shared a cab with Isaac Asimov in New York City many, many years ago. It's a short cab ride, but we were both going to the same meeting, and we ended up going to the wrong place, so we shared a cab to get to the right place to do the meeting. And Asimov Science Fiction says they'll turn it around fairly quickly, like 5 weeks. So the idea is, let's submit it. Let's submit Search Quiet Wake to Asimov Science Fiction magazine right now. Okay, so here it is. The writer's guidelines. The amount of money they pay. The amount of money they pay. I don't even know how to guess whether there's any chance that they'll be interested in Search Quiet Wake, this particular story. I do know that if they are, it'll be because it got a whole lot better since I first started showing it to a few people. But it's totally not about the money. All right, so here we go. Online submissions. I haven't tried this yet because obviously I didn't have anything to submit. So, but let's do it. Use Ackley Shack. All right, the title is Search Quiet Wake. They say the cover letter is optional, and you're supposed to have your publishing history. And my publishing history is not science fiction. At least it wasn't intended to be. So I'm going to just leave that out. And now here it is, 15/15/10/33. I think that's it. This shows my incredible commitment to submitting this story to magazines. I've actually produced a doc file. And I produced it using OpenOffice, but still, it's doc format. So here we go. I guess let's see what happens. Cover letter required. They said it was optional. Oh dear, what am I supposed to? Cover letter is optional, right? If you choose to include it, it should include the length of your story and your publishing history. Okay. Story length about 4,600 words. No prior published science fiction. Thanks for taking a look. All right, so we try again. Oh, lost our file. 15/15 doc. That's right. All right, here we go. Thank you for submission. An email ticket. If you do not receive this email within 2 hours, okay, we'll see. 5 weeks with a range covering 5 weeks to 3 months. They didn't mention 3 months before. You should expect a quick response. Okay, well, there it is. So we've now submitted a science fiction story. I mean, I really want the folks who've been following the T2 Tile project to get a look at this story, and I'm not sure how to do it. I've been trying not to put it out in public since I'm trying to sell the first North American serial rights. All right, the clock is ticking. 5 weeks to 3 months. We should expect a quick response. That's it. And so next time. Oh yeah. So once again, the opening bumper with the computing creed. First be robust, then as correct as possible and as efficient as necessary. I'm still open. I'm still looking for folks who might want to make a new one. Andrew suggested I should put the details in the Discord server, and I didn't because I didn't. But I just wanted to say one thing. That I actually have a history of sort of like no, never liking anything unless I did it myself, which is a real problem. But what I just wanted to say about this one is that, as long as for this particular thing, as long as we can get the words in and not run into any copyright issues, I promise I will try it out in a future T2sday update, and we'll see, what people think. But that's it. And beyond that, so for next time, I want to have, which February 1, I want to have some more explicit tile event spikes. I want to have a little bit more confidence that maybe this idea is got legs. Maybe it's got a chance of working, although I haven't actually. I'm not going to hold myself to actually having events happen or all that because there's a ton of work to do. Once again, have some fun and maybe build more grid. I don't know. We've got to figure out where this thing is going to have its kind of temporary, permanent home that we can, get all of the physical properties of it working out. That's it. Thank you so much for coming, whether you're here live for the stream or you're checking it out later. I hope things are going all right at your end, and I hope to see you next time.